Let's be honest, the vault is where Fortnite items go to die. Sure, Epic Games tells us that items in the vault can return at any time, but it very rarely happens. They're no stranger to using the vault to get rid of some of the lesser used or overpowered items in Fortnite, so today we'll be taking a look at all the items you won't be seeing in Season 8. Burst Assault Rifle. The Burst AR has been a staple of Fortnite since it was introduced all the way back in patch 1.6. Just in case you didn't know, patch 1.6 was the one that introduced us to Fortnite Battle Royale in the first place. So players like Lachlan have literally been using the Burst since day one. Yes, we only got the epic and legendary variants of the weapon in patch 4.2, but the Burst AR has been around for as long as the Battle Royale has existed. When patch 7.10 came along, we were surprised to see the common, uncommon, and rare variants get vaulted, but we figured it was just because there was so much low-level loot in the game. We thought nothing of it at the time, but it was only a precursor of what was to come. Only a few weeks later, in patch 7.30, the other two variants were vaulted as well, and we were crushed. We always loved the Burst AR, and honestly had no idea why Epic Games vaulted them. Sure, the 3-round burst was deadly, especially when all of them were headshots, but there was nothing inherently terrible or OP about the weapon. We think Epic Games just wanted to make room for a new weapon, the infantry rifle, and to do that, the Burst AR had to go. Bolt Action Sniper. Sticking with weapons that have been here from day one, let's talk about the Bolt Action Sniper. Just like the Burst AR, it was introduced in patch 1.6, and as Muselk shows us, it was the most powerful weapon in the game for a long time, until the Heavy Sniper was introduced in Season 5. A few weeks after the Heavy Sniper was introduced, Epic Games vaulted the legendary Bolt Action Sniper in patch 5.40. It became clear that time was running out for the Bolt Action Sniper because in patch 7.20, we were introduced to another new weapon in the Suppressed Sniper. At that point, the writing was on the wall, and just weeks later, in patch 7.30, Epic Games finally pulled the plug on the Bolt Action Sniper and vaulted the rest of the variants. It was really sad to see the Bolt Action Sniper go. While we've had our fair share of fails using the weapon, we've hit some pretty ridiculous shots with it too. Not many, but we swear we have. This was a simple case of there being too many cooks in the kitchen, or too many snipers on the battlefield in this scenario. There was no need for all these different snipers, so Epic Games decided to get rid of the OG Bolt Action Sniper. We'll miss ya, buddy. Heavy Shotgun. The Heavy Shotgun was quite the controversial weapon. Some players loved it, some players hated it, and others were neutral like Switzerland. But we've always been on the fence about it until it was vaulted, and we didn't have to worry about it anymore. The weapon was introduced all the way back in Season 3 with patch 3.3.1. It was great because at the time, we didn't have any legendary shotguns, so having a high damage beast like the Heavy Shotgun was a breath of fresh air. It was a mainstay in the game until patch 6.31 changed everything. It was this update that introduced us to the epic and the legendary pump shotgun variants. You know, the only variants the shotgun even had. You know exactly where this is going by now. The Heavy Shotgun was later vaulted in patch 7.30. While we weren't huge fans of the weapon, we got some clutch game-winning kills with it. In fact, our first solo win was with it, so it'll always have a special place in our hearts. The thing is, it got replaced by a gun that pretty much handles exactly like it, so we definitely won't miss it. Submachine Gun. The Submachine Gun has one of the most complicated histories out of all the weapons in Fortnite. It's been in and out of the vault so many times, and there have been so many different versions of it, we could probably make an entire video about them all. We're definitely not going to do that though, because it's oddly specific and no one would watch it. Anyway, to simplify things, we're going to be talking about the more recent MP5 style SMG, like the one Sunday's using, as opposed to the old Tech 9 machine pistol one that was much uglier. The new SMG was introduced in the Season 5 update, patch 5.0, and was part of Fortnite for over 2 seasons, before eventually getting vaulted in patch 7.30. The reason it was vaulted was never specified by Epic Games, and we honestly don't even think that they know why they vaulted it. As of right now, there are only 2 different types of SMGs in the game: the suppressed SMG that has common, uncommon, and rare variants, and the compact SMG that has epic and legendary variants. All rarities are covered, but there's only 2 different kinds of SMGs. They could have totally kept the regular SMG in the game, but it seems like they removed it to make room for a new item in the future. It might have been the drift board, actually. Quad Launcher. The quad launcher sounds absolutely ridiculous on paper, and it was a great weapon in Save the World, but it never really felt at home in the Battle Royale for a bunch of different reasons. Introduced in patch 6.02, the quad launcher didn't even last 2 seasons before it was vaulted in patch 7.20. It did not have a storied history in the Battle Royale, that's for sure. As T. Martin 2 shows us, the weapon excelled at taking down structures quickly, but it was awful at literally everything else. It had a ridiculously long reload time, and it was like firing a pea shooter at enemies. Unless all 4 of those rockets hit your target dead on, you had no chance of taking out anyone with them. Well, unless they were already damaged, that is. Yeah, it was that bad. We're not surprised that Epic Games vaulted the weapon. It was worse than the regular rocket launcher in terms of damage, dealing only 2/3 as much damage, and no one was using the weapon. So they decided to put it in the vault, where we think it's gonna stay forever. So the weapon better get used to the vault. We heard the food sucks there. That's a jail joke. Yeah? Yeah. 6-shooter. When the release of Red Dead Redemption 2 was taking the game world by storm in late October 2018, Fortnite got in on the whole cowboy craze with the Calamity and Deadfire skins to go along with the 6-shooter pistol. Introduced in patch 6.20, the 6-shooter was a neat idea. It had a great style to it, and if you fired it from the hip, you were able to get shots off in quick succession, just like a cowboy in a duel, or acidic blitz in this case. You could aim with it, but doing so would lower the fire rate of the weapon significantly. While it was accurate from the hip, it was still heavily outclassed by shotguns at close range, and at mid-range, SMGs had it beat. If only it wasn't the weakest darn thing we ever did use, the 6-shooter could have had a chance, but it ended up getting vaulted in patch 7.10, and we don't miss it one bit. So many pistols have come and gone in Fortnite, and the 6-shooter was just another one of them. It wasn't as good as the dual pistols at close range, it wasn't as versatile as the regular pistol, and lacked the firepower of the hand cannon, so Epic Games decided to say sayonara to the 6-shooter. Infinity Blade. Of course, we had to mention the mythic Infinity Blade at some point. When it was first released in patch 7.01, it was an awesome addition to the game, but just like Jakey, we quickly realized this sword was the most OP weapon in Fortnite history. The Infinity Blade had crazy powers and was able to pretty much turn you into Thanos from the limited time mode we had a while ago to hype up Avengers Infinity War. One hit easily took down opponents, and you were able to launch yourself in the air to deliver a powerful strike. If that wasn't enough, the blade could even take down structures in a matter of seconds, no matter what material they were made of. There was seemingly nothing that this weapon could not do. It was an unfair advantage for players to use the Infinity Blade, and it would have been better as part of an LTM instead of the main game. Everyone who played Fortnite started complaining about this weapon, which led to Epic Games actually apologizing for adding it to the game without proper testing first. So they vaulted it a week after it was introduced. Good for them for owing up to their mistake and openly telling us why they vaulted a weapon for once. Wait, it's actually coming back for Season 8? Well, let's hope it's not the definition of OP this time around. Boombox. Speaking of items Epic Games actually decided to explain why they vaulted, we have the short-lived Boombox. Introduced in patch 7.10, players like Killer King Kevin loved to jam with the Boombox that was so loud it could destroy all structures within its spherical 2-tile radius. It was an interesting concept, but it was just too good at taking out structures and lasted a whole 18 seconds, which is an eternity in the world of Fortnite. On top of all that, it came in stacks of 2, meaning you could use it for a total of 36 seconds. And yeah, we did the math on that, it checks out. Oh, and they also had 400 HP, so it's not like you could have just shot them once to make them stop. They took a whole mag to shut up. This all led to the Boombox getting vaulted in patch 7.30. Grenade. The final OG weapon we're going to get into in this video is the grenade. We honestly never thought that we'd have to say goodbye to these guys when we were introduced to them in patch 1.6, but the time has finally come. Now that patch 7.40 has been released, we can no longer do grenade-only challenges like Vicstar 123. Those days are gone, and now we have to try and survive in a cruel post-grenade world. We'll just take it one day at a time and hope that it gets better. Well, we actually didn't need to go and drown our sorrows for very long because while we'll never probably be able to throw a grenade again, and that sucks, we got the clingers back in the same update that we lost the grenades. So it wasn't that bad after all. In fact, the only reason Epic Games vaulted the grenade was to bring back the clinger. So we're actually very happy about the whole thing. We absolutely loved sticking clingers to our teammates and then making them rush into buildings, and now we get to do it again. Let's just hope our teammates don't run towards us when they're stuck with a clinger. Yeah, we don't miss the clinger trolling at all, but it's good to have them back nonetheless. Grappler. The Grappler was another concept that just didn't translate well into Fortnite Battle Royale. It was added to the game in patch 5.40 to improve player mobility, and it succeeded in doing that, allowing players like Blink to fly around the map with ease. But if we're being completely honest, players didn't really need more mobility. Fortnite is full of vehicles, and you could use the build feature to get you to higher ground if need be. So it was a completely unnecessary addition to the game. Don't get us wrong, we liked the Grappler, but we just thought the game could use a more useful item than that. Now, with that being said, it did give players an option and allowed them to run from the storm a bit easier if they didn't have a vehicle. Still, when patch 7.20 rolled around, Epic Games must have had the same idea as us, and they decided to put the Grappler in the vault because it wasn't necessary and was of epic rarity, meaning it lowered your chances of getting a different, more useful epic item. While the Grappler is vaulted and won't be coming back anytime soon, you could still use one in creative mode, or you could just play as Pathfinder in Apex Legends. Hey, if the Grappler can't live on in Fortnite, at least it's being used somewhere else. And that's the real reason why Epic Games vaulted all of these weapons for Fortnite Season 8, except the Infinity Blade. Did you lose one of your favorite weapons? Are there any that we may have missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more Fortnite videos. Thanks for watching.